Alright, hello everyone, welcome back. This is Emil, and in today's video I want to talk about Revolve stock. Okay, so Revolve is a fashion website, e-commerce clothing website for women, and I'm very interested in it because of the marketing tactics that they're using. So they're using a lot of influencers and modern marketing techniques, which we'll talk about later on. So in this video, as usual, we're going to run through the fundamentals of the company, the exciting things that it's doing, the risks involved, and we'll run through the numbers as well. And then at the end, I'll tell you what I'm doing in regards to this stock. So this is going to be a deep dive analysis, so strap in. So a quick overview. So Revolve was started by two gentlemen who were working in a tech company around the dot-com bubble. They both lost their jobs, obviously, because of the dot-com bubble. They were in a tech company which went bust. These were two smart men, so they decided to use their knowledge of data, and they were engineers, to start a fashion company, a fashion website. And so this company's been around since like 2000. So it's actually a pretty well-established company, and they're using data to really sell their clothes. So as you can see, it's kind of a mix between a tech company and a fashion company. So they're using data to decide what clothes are hot and trending. And they're one of the first users of influencers. So they started using bloggers back in the day when people blogged. And now they're using Instagram influencers, which is their big thing. So you can see that they're really ahead of the game, ahead of the curve. They have been anyway for the last 20 years. And they've only recently went public in the last year. Yeah, so they're two interesting gentlemen. They've started a few Revolve only brands, but they also sell like other brands through the Revolve website, and they use Instagram influencers to market their product, wear their products, and talk about them and direct customers to their website. So they've collaborated there with a few well-known influencers with millions of followers, but they have thousands of influencers, so they're very much in the know with micro influencers, which are influencers with like around 10,000 followers, or even less. Like if I'm an influencer and I say I have a few thousand followers, like most of those people I probably know or know of, and even if I have like 2,000 followers, if my followers see me wearing something and I like it, they're much more likely to trust me about this website. If I'm wearing like, I don't know, a skirt, that would be funny. But yeah, if I'm wearing the skirt and I'm recommending it, the people who are following me are my friends, so they're more likely to really trust me that I'm not just in it for the money. So Revolve went public in 2019, and it shot up, it doubled in a few days, and since then it's completely crashed. So it started off with a PE ratio of similar to a tech company. Like people were starting to value it as a tech company, so it had like a PE ratio of like 40. So yeah, it hasn't been a profitable company for a while. But yeah, the stock price has dropped significantly, giving it a current PE ratio of around 16. Well, obviously, because of the coronavirus going around at the moment, this PE will be affected, but this is the most up-to-date PE considering last year's sales and earnings. So I just quickly wanted to compare this PE ratio to its peers. So Nordstrom, it has a PE ratio of 7, Tailored Brands 5. So you can see they're both they're both lower than Revolve's PE, which is 16. However, these are kind of going towards the end of their life cycle, and they're mostly in retail, in physical retail stores, which is a dying industry, as we know. This is Tommy Hilfiger and Calvin Klein. Philip Van Heusen has a PE of 9. Kering is Gucci, YSL, Yves Saint Laurent. So Revolve also has like a luxury brand website called Forward, which they own. So they sell luxury brands on that website. So I just wanted to have a comparison there. And their PE is 26. So luxury brands generally have a high PE ratio. Zara, 21 PE ratio. And finally, Boohoo.com, which is probably a company which I found to be the most similar. So it's just an online e-commerce, fast fashion, somewhere in between fast fashion, and well, Boohoo would be more fast fashion than Revolve. Revolve is a bit more higher quality, but Boohoo is very fast fashion focused. So that's the most similar company I could find, and clearly you can see their P is 60 and the price to sales is 3, and Revolve's price to sales is 0.8. So definitely a better value company than Boohoo. So it's interesting at this price now. And yeah, just in regards to this, I'll play a little clip now with the two CEOs and their thoughts on how this company should be valued. I think it's always good to get an idea of the CEOs before you invest in a company. So enjoy this little clip.
Now, we've seen this story before. We've seen some other companies, like, for example, Farfetch, go public. What differentiates Revolve for the long term?
Over the long term, Revolve combines the best of technology and brand. We have the best data to ensure that we get our customers the best product, but we also have a great brand that our customers love.
All right, and do you feel like perhaps there was some kind of problem with the pricing? I mean, I'm sure you're delighted that we're trading well higher and there's a nice premium, but perhaps did the bankers leave a little bit on the table?
Yeah, I mean, we're focused on building the business for the long term and not focused on short-term share price. So, you know, we're thrilled to see that everyone else is excited about the future as we are.
Guys, I'm going to let you decide who's going to answer this question, but are you a technology company or are you a fashion company?
We're a technology company and a fashion company wrapped into one.
Okay, so you get valued, kind of, technology companies have one valuation, retailers have another valuation. Kind of, I suspect you'd like to probably be more of the technology valuations, right?
Yeah, from a consumer standpoint, we're a fashion company. From an operational standpoint, we're a technology company.
And from a market point of view?
From a stock market point of view, we think the tech valuation makes sense.
So where does the business go next? You're a listed company now. What now?
The core of our business is incredible, so we are very, very confident that everything we're doing at the moment will continue to drive growth and profitability for the future. We're very happy to have this day, but ultimately, performance over the long term really is all that matters to us, so we're very focused over the long term.
Mike, Topshop parent Arcadia, is experiencing bankruptcy basically right now. If the likes of Topshop, which was so great at fast fashion, which again, as you have said, was in touch with its consumer, if it can go bankrupt, what makes you so confident that Revolve will be able to ride through this storm for retailers, for clothing lines?
Yeah, and we've been building a business for the long term since day one. We've been through 2 recessions in our 16-year history, and we've emerged stronger each time. And I think we've approached retail in a very different way from other retailers. We're doing everything with technology and data, which gives us a reliable, consistent result. And we're able to connect with younger consumers. That's really why a lot of these legacy brands aren't doing as well. They don't know how to connect with the younger generation. Now,
you have built your business basically on the influencer. There's a lot of skepticism about exactly how the influencer economy works. I mean, is it really responsible for the bottom line at Revolve, the influencer economy? You say you have 2.5 million of them.
It seems that we've built the company on influencers, but I think that's just one aspect of our marketing. We really have a diverse, full funnel marketing that we've developed over the many years, and ultimately the integration of influencers with everything else that we do is ultimately how we're able to be successful.
Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that clip. As you can see, those CEOs are continually mentioning the future and their long-term vision rather than like answering their questions. They don't care about short-term fluctuations in their stock. They're much more interested in the growth of their company, which obviously is great for a long-term investor like me. So yeah, they continually reiterated their long-term vision in the interview. So that makes me calm. Like that's what they care. That's what they care about. That's what I care about. I don't care about the stock price in the short term, and neither should you, in my opinion. So yeah, they're going after the Generation Z and millennials. So that's like my age group, like in the 20s, anywhere from like 15 years old up to 30 years old. So this generation hasn't started earning their max amount of money yet, but they're coming into that now. So in the next 5 to 10 years is when Revolve can really start amplifying their sales, in my opinion, as this younger generation is pretty much going to buy 90% of their clothes online, or who knows how much percentage wise, but a lot more than now. yeah, so they're completely focused on influencers and the up-to-date marketing strategies that are more profitable. Yeah, and just to mention, they've already survived 2 recessions quite easily, and they've done that because they have no debt on their balance sheet, no long-term debt, which is fantastic. So they're really smart businessmen. Like, a lot of fashion industries mightn't have such data-driven engineers and experienced executives. And just a final thing about the future, they've trying to bring out their own brands more than relying on other suppliers, which means they have more control over their business and the profit margins and everything like that. Yeah, as you can see, they're growing their own brand clothing significantly, which is higher margins. So this is the most exciting part of Revolve, in my opinion. It's their marketing strategy, which is significantly based on the influencer, which has been, and I believe will continue to be, a extremely undervalued marketing technique. So influencers are happy to promote your products, and they're actually delighted because it makes them look cool. Makes them look good that they're being promoted to wear these clothes. So it's a win-win, and they get some money and they get some free clothes, and all their followers see those clothes and see it from a reputable source rather than just a TV commercial. They're also focused on retargeting. So retargeting is if, say, you visit my website, I can see that you visited my website, you didn't purchase anything, but I'm going to retarget you in Facebook and Instagram ads. But also, if you put in your email address, they're going to retarget with email marketing, push communications through their apps. So yeah, they're really on top of the modern marketing techniques. So if you know anything about modern marketing, you'll recognize some of these techniques. Yeah, furthermore, they've attained 51% of their traffic, so majority of their traffic was from free or next to free, like pretty cheap marketing techniques, such as email marketing. It doesn't cost anything to send an email or multiple emails, or SEO, which is organic search results. So if I search on Google miniskirt and Revolve comes up, and I didn't pay for Revolve to come up, that's an organic search. So that's just leveraging search engine optimization, so making sure your website has the search words relevant to what people might be searching for, just like in YouTube. And on top of that, like, it's so important to have excellent customer service these days, and Revolve definitely do and always have. So free shipping, there's always been no hassle free shipping, returns, which is great. It makes customers much more confident in buying their clothes and recommend the website to a friend. Yes, they have thousands of influencers, and as I mentioned, those influencers are delighted to be influencers because they're getting to represent Revolve, which is a cool brand or whatever. So it's a win-win. So their luxury website is Forward. So we'll have a look at that in a minute. So yes, quickly run through their positives. So they have 17 years of data, so they know what sells. So they have a complete data lead. So we all should know anyway how important data is in modern markets. Data is the new oil, as people say. So they also sold 75% of their clothing online at full price. So only 25% was on discount. So they're very well. They're using their data not only for deciding which clothes to market, but also like which clothes are selling well. So they have a really good handle on their inventory. So they know they can sell almost everything at full price because they're so efficient with their inventory. Yeah, so they have 7 million Instagram followers across all their different brands, which is great to see. That's gold, pretty much. They have full control of their fulfillment centers. As I mentioned, they're selling more of their own brands, and they're growing at about a 20% rate, which is a very decent growth, but isn't too high, because sometimes if it's a really fast grower, people tend to pay too much for that fast growth, so the PE goes crazy. But 20% growth, that's just like a really nice growth, but We also have a nice PE ratio of only 16, so that's a nice level for us, and they have a very risk-averse management team with their no debt on the balance sheet, which we'll look at. Yeah, so they definitely have room to grow internationally. Most of their sales are still coming from the US, but they're looking into the Chinese market, Australian market, and the UK as well. We're not sure, like a 22% year over year growth in international. We're not sure how they'll fare internationally yet. It's not looking bad by any means, but there are definitely competition internationally. So yeah, we'll have to see with that over the next while, but there definitely is room to expand still. Alright, let's just run through their risks at the moment, and then we'll run through the numbers, and then I'll give you my opinion on the stock overall. Well, who knows how useful influencers will be in the future. Maybe people start to realize that influencers are just kind of advertising platforms. So if you follow an influencer, you're basically just subscribing to being advertised to. So maybe that will reduce the effect of influencers in the future. And of course, with the COVID-19 situation, their supply chain has been drastically impacted. They're getting a lot of their merchandise from China or manufacturing it there. So their supply chain is going to be very much affected. And also, people aren't really going to be buying clothes, particularly the luxury brands that they have. Okay, let's just quickly run through their numbers. So their price at the moment is $10. I think it's actually jumped a little bit today to about 11. So their market cap and revenue is pretty good, pretty neck and neck, which is always good. You always want to price the sales around 1 is a fair value in my opinion. Forward P 16.6, that's very decent in my opinion. It's come down a lot. This used to be a $40 stock, so now we're getting a really nice price for it in my opinion. Yeah, I tried to find the percentage held by insiders and institutions, but these numbers are wrong because the insiders hold their shares in institutions, so that's why it's given us this result. So ignore that. Unfortunately, we couldn't find the actual amount held by insiders, but I believe it to be quite high from reading the CEOs. So the revenue has been increasing 25%, 21%, and now obviously because of COVID, their revenue is going to the revenue growth has been projected to slow in 2020 and 2021. Actually, this projection was made about a month ago actually, so this revenue forecast is probably wrong. It's probably too high. I'd assume they're going to experience negative growth this year. However, like a 25% growth rate and 21% growth rate, once the COVID-19 situation clears up, if we get back to those growth rates, a 16 PE ratio is fantastic. Like usually you want a PE which is matching your growth rate in a growth stock. So a fair price would be a PE ratio of 16 equal to a 16% growth rate, but we're getting a higher growth rate, which is great. So that was their earnings per share. It's grown a lot over 2017 to 2018. So getting more profitable. Quick look at their balance sheet. It's a fantastic balance sheet. Yeah, fantastic balance sheet as well. Their cash is very high at the moment. Their inventory levels, jumped here. Like with most clothing companies or any company that holds physical items, you don't want to see growing inventory, because that kind of indicates that they're not managing their inventory well, and or they're not selling their products if like inventory is stacking up. But yeah, they got a bit of a rise in inventory this year, but it hasn't gone up too much this year, so not too worried about that. Their total assets much better than their liabilities. They have no long-term debt, which is obviously fantastic. So they can't go, well, it's extremely hard to go out of business if you have no long-term debt. So I think it's a very safe company in this recession time. I'll give you my opinion on Revolve. I have been buying the stock. Made an initial purchase at $20 and now it dropped to 10, so I doubled up. I invested just as much money, so now my cost basis is 15. So I've lost some money, but I only recently started investing before the crash. So yeah, I'm looking to add more shares potentially. I'm happy enough with my position, but if it stays under $10, and I think under $10 is definitely a buy, in my opinion. But we'll have to see what happens. I'll show you forward. This is their luxury section. This is their luxury website. So they sell, designers, Balenciaga, Burberry, Gucci, Givenchy, all these designers that they sell. If you're interested in these markets, in the next few days, I'm going to be doing an analysis on Louis Vuitton stock. So if you're interested in that, maybe consider subscribing to catch that one. Yeah, so that's everything I wanted to say about Revolve. It's up to $11 now. Please drop me a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more videos similar to this. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing you in the next one. If you have any suggestions, I make pretty much every video that someone suggests. So make sure to leave a comment below. And cheers. I'll catch you in the next one.